Jusuf Nurkic storms the castle gates.
I do remember some guys show up at my house and say, "You're going to be the best player in '94 in Bosnia. You're going to play in NBA." That's why first time I really believe in that. The story is basically one guy show up in my house and he hears some story in the newspaper about how tall my family is, and he said if this family has a kid, definitely going to be tall and big. And, you know, I started playing basketball when I was 14 and a half, 15 years old. So it's pretty late. And by then, you know, 5 years later, I was in the NBA. He made his point, but definitely didn't know he was going to be right, all of that things. I feel like in my young career, I have so many coaches, but the definitely ones stick with me. Don't matter where you're at and how much you're struggling in, if you put work in, it's going to pay off. So, of course, you got to play the game to show, but definitely you got to put the work in. That's the first step you can, you know, you can dream, you can do, but hard work is a dream. You know, when you hard work and sacrifice all the little things, I think that's the first step for being where you want to go. I think the hardest part for me was when I was 14, first time, you know, trying to figure out why I'm practicing 5 times a day, why I'm away from the family in different country, different language, different culture. That was probably the hardest thing for me, that first 6 months, you by yourself. You know, you're being responsible for everything that's going on in your room, your house or apartment. And it's kind of just a big difference to kind of grow up overnight. I mean, I will never forget it in my life. You know, first flying to the United States, and that was the first night in New York. So basically, experience kind of fully video game style. Like you were just flying in from Bosnia to New York, and you figure out what is this? Like what kind of city is this? And all the buildings. It's kind of surreal, but definitely I remember that night from, you know, basically 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. The longest night in my life, but it's worth it definitely.
This moment, beautiful, you know, so happy. I'm an all-star NBA player, you know, next season I can't wait. Denver Nuggets, I come tomorrow. You know, I need to go.
You know, obviously everybody knows when you're playing basketball, it's NBA, the last stop or the best stop in basketball career. So I think that was my setup for the life. I'm saying that when you have invite for green room and basically telling you that somebody gonna pick you up in the first round, it's almost guaranteed. So I think that's the grateful moment I've been so far in just in general life. Before NBA, I was playing a lot of video games, 2K, and they can visualize you what's gonna happen if you make it. So I remember all the things, and people were saying it's kind of video game, but it's really, they make it like a true story. They make it like a real life. So you know, almost like you've been there before. That's how it feels, like so real. It's almost like you've been there before somehow in your mind, and now you're really walking in the locker room with 14 guys in. You have own cheer with your name and jersey, and that moment is just special in general. I never look at that way, but definitely probably it's gonna happen, or it did happen, but I never look at that way. Maybe when I was guarding Kobe, that was probably my welcome to NBA. My first game, actually my debut, playing preseason game, and that's, you know, my idol. And just in generally, when you see somebody like that, like, you know, Michael Jordan of my era, you're gonna call it that way. But definitely when I saw him and play against him, and that moment you guard one-on-one and switch, and just that talk between, that's probably the best, or remembering the welcome to the NBA. It's just different for me, man. I was showing up at the arena in a bus by myself, and I got called. My grandma passed away. So for me, it was all kind of emotions, just across my head. I didn't want to play the game. To be honest, I was in the bus like for 45 minutes straight. Didn't want to get out. 2 hours basically before the game, I found out that hour, before the game, I walk in the locker room and just so many emotions. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, why, being so far away, it just make even more harder. Obviously, we are human beings. Everybody's gonna die at some point. We all have a limit time in this world. But to me, it was like more because I was so far away from my grandma, and I was spending pretty much all my child days with her. So it was more connection than anything else. But then because when I went to the bubble, I promised I'm going to play and come back. And that's why I just went to the game, and there was so much emotion out there. I know how much is on the line. Basically win, we have 2 days off before the Lakers. If you lose, you're going home. So that's why it's so much important to me. But another way, I couldn't stay in the bench. I was telling coach, I just need to be in the game. That was the first time I actually really argued with coach. I don't want to go on the bench. My mom was going crazy. And, turns out to be a good game, but I lost somebody really important to me. I mean, I never doubt about, when Denver tried to draft me, Tim Connolly was asking me about what's the biggest stake, why you think you're an NBA player. I said, I just need a chance. I'm not asking, to be this role. I just need a chance so I can show what I can do. And I think the Denver gave me a chance on All-Star break when they trade a couple guys, and I have a chance. And that's for my moment. Everybody know I can be that starting center in this league and be a lot of things. So for me, it was from day one I was believing I can. That's why I show up, or that's why I decide to went to NBA, because overseas I have a lot of offers before NBA draft, and I kind of passed on all of those because I want to go NBA. I think that's why I belong, and that's why I maintain my good here and stay in the league.
Covington finds Nurkic, who slams it on Favors. Jusuf Nurkic just taking people to the rack.